year I get to say I'm co-publisher of DC Comics, and it's an exciting moment. But what I want to do right now is we're going to have a little fun. This is actually the first time the other co-publisher of DC Comics, Mr. Jim Lee, and DC's new Chief Creative Officer, Geoff Johns. This is actually the first time all three of us have been together at a convention this year. And when we thought about it, you know, a lot of people have been asking us questions about, you know, how our new roles are playing, what's in store for DC in the future. So what I wanted to do is I just wanted to hijack this DC Nation panel for a second. And some of the things that we're going to be doing in the future with other conventions is what I'm calling DC Nation Town Meetings. Yeah, I know. You pull the teabag joke to yourself right now. But the good part about it is we're going to do town meetings. I want to hear, the goal is to hear from the fans, hear from you guys. Not about what we used to talk about in the past in other panels about what we liked about comics, but what we want from comics, what we want to see from comics. Because the part for us in our jobs right now is trying to make DC Comics the #1 comic company in Toronto. So let me just turn the mic over to the guys for a second, because me, I'm an old hat at this. I am. For being the corporate guy. Let's turn it over to Geoff first. Geoff, how has your role changed with DC?
Well, I guess I'm kind of doing what I did on Blackest Night for the whole company, I guess. Which is true. I'm overseeing all the, you know, writing my books, working with everybody, working with Jim and Dan on the editorial side, just creatively, and then also overseeing the film slate, TV, animation, video games, stuff like that. Working really close with Jim on the MMO, which is coming along really good, and I guess that's it. The goal is to bring as many, you know, I love Superman and Batman. We have Superman movies, we have Batman movies. We're filming Green Lantern right now, which is looking amazing. The goal really is to, you know, let's get all of our characters out there everywhere, not just films, but video games and, you know, TV and everything, and not just Superman and Batman. I want every one of our characters out there.
Okay.
So that's
and more important, the biggest question we can ask anybody, which is, I'll get ahead of you guys on it. Does this cut to your writing at all?
No.
Thank you.
I'll be writing all my books and some new projects next year.
Excellent. Okay, now over to Jim. Jim.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing what I did for All-Star Batman and Robin, but for the entire DC line. So, kiss your comics goodbye. It's all over. Thank God I have other skills, sing and dance. No, this has been a great opportunity. You know, Dan and I are co-publishers, but we have kind of divvied up some of the responsibilities. I've been more in charge of the digital initiatives that DC has, and by digital initiatives I mean nothing right now, but a lot of kick-ass stuff coming down the pipeline.
iPad.
And iPad, what's that? Anyway, so I've been working with John Root, who is the fourth member of the five of us, and he is in charge of sales and marketing and business development. So he and I have been kind of working together on the digital comics side of DC Comics. And then Dan and I have just been brainstorming about how we can make the line better, and then all three of us have been kind of brainstorming about all the different kinds of stories and new developments we can sort of introduce in the coming years. And you know, really part of my contract, part of my deal is that they're forcing me to sit down and draw again. And anyway, so that's really, so I've been trying to really carve out time to do that kind of stuff, and so we actually have some announcements today, I think. Later.
Yeah. Anyway. So, this is where we want to turn it to you guys. If you guys have any questions for us, but I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you are liking about DC right now, what you're not liking about DC right now, and what you hope DC is for the future, what characters you enjoy seeing, what do you like to do? Because that's part of everything we got going on right now, is the idea to really sit down and examine our line, examine our books, and really try to find a way to grow this business. This isn't just about selling it just to the few of us over and over again, but really in the sense of trying to grow the business to be the best it can be. And I guess let's put it right to the questions. Let's start right here, sir. Starting with you.
All right, since you're asking for suggestions, as a retailer, or I work for a retailer, it's very frustrating. I think that Green Lantern Rebirth is out of print right now in all forms.
It is?
Yes. It is unavailable from Diamond.
Wait, hold on, let me make a note.
That must be Jim Lee's side of the co-publishing part.
The Absolute issue comes out in a month or so, but
How do you spell Green Lantern?
so I find that frustrating, as well as the fact that the 5th Losers trade is also out of print with the movie coming out in 3 weeks. And I feel like there could be much stronger trade and hardcover program coming from DC more quickly. The soft covers coming out more quickly after the hardcovers coming out more quickly in general. Also, numbering on the books would also help a lot.
That's something that we've
more and better trades.
addressed that aspect. And as far as the other trades, I mean, I think those are anomalies. I mean, we actually have probably the deepest and widest library of all the major publishers. So, I mean, those 2 examples, I'm going to rectify immediately right after this panel. I guarantee it.
Especially Green Lantern.
Yes. And I have a copy at home. I can mail it to you for sure.
I have mine, but you know. Okay. Well, especially I know there's like a huge back library and all that stuff, but I have noticed that there's been more coming out recently. But just when you look at it, the weekly, what's coming out, you know, Marvel might have 16 books and DC will have like 4, and it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, well, the 4 better books, as I like to call it. But you know, quantity's not the answer to everything.
I understand that.
You know that. I mean, honestly, what we try to do is try to get them out as quickly as possible, but not to diminish what the periodicals are doing. Because I think really the bread and butter of everything we do is the periodical business in comics. It is. It's the week, you know, the week in, the week out, month in and month out of buying the comics that matters most. And from my standpoint, we want to make sure that we protect that as well as grow the other businesses as well. I agree completely with what you're saying, but we also want to we just don't want to put books out just for putting books out's sake. We want to make sure that they have some life to them as well.
Cool, thanks.
You're welcome, thank you. Next up.
Almost on the opposite side of things, how do you guys feel about one-shot, done-in-one stories as opposed to the grand sweeping arcs that have been kind of taking over comics year by year by year? How do you feel about like just having an issue, you know, a random issue number 5 of a comic being enough story to hand someone off the shelf, just 28 pages, they can read it, enjoy it, and not have to feel like, oh, I have to go get the last 20 issues, or oh, I have to get everything that's connected to it with an end on it.
Okay.
Well, Flash Secret Files is a one-off. You know, it's a done-in-one story.
Excellent.
You know, I think it all depends, honestly, from a creator's point of view. I don't want to be told that I have to do done-in-ones.
But just as a creative consultant, do you feel that could benefit more? Do you think it's a kind of a
I think it's up to the writer. If they have, like, I've done plenty of one-shot stories in my runs on my books. You know, I do a lot of I like those. Everything Jay said, he said you like every 6 issues that just do a one-off because I want to do a one-off storyline.
And I'm going to take it one step further for a second. One of the things also is that you should have some level. I understand what you're saying. Done-in-ones, a lot of times when you're looking from a collector's point of view, and even for a collection, a lot of people just say, oh, that's the one I don't have to pick up because it doesn't matter to the rest of the line, the rest of the story. We hear it a lot. But one of the things that we try to do is get to a point where you can have some level of resolution in an issue. So there's something that's been wrapped up. So that way you feel like at least you got a full reading experience in each issue. We should be trying to do that as well. And even for, you know, even for my sake, just speaking from experience right now, I'm working on the Outsiders book, and the 4th issue that I did is just a standalone Looker story. It has bits and pieces in it that tie to everything else, but it has a complete story in there, but still feeds the overarching thing. This should be a balance all the way through, but we're in the periodical story business, so we should get some level of continuation because we want to bring people in and month out. We're afraid that if people look at one story ending, then there's no reason to come back. In this particular case, there's a way to balance all this.
Excellent, okay.
Thank you.
I have one question. Where's Jim Lee's superhero hat?
Where is your superhero hat?
I thought we were wearing the baseball caps. Like.
Is that really the question?
Yes, a little.
Okay.
And I'm happy.
I have my Wonder Woman's boxers on though.
happy you're going to be drawn again.
Thanks, dude.